Welcome to Oops All Segments, the very best podcast, hitting your eardrums at this very moment. I'm Kevin.
I'm Thomas, and today we are here with special guest, comedian Kyle Bergstresser. Welcome, Kyle.
I'm cheering.
I didn't really match. Hold on, wait. I didn't match your energy.
Kevin has the cheer noise.
There you go. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was much more appropriate than.
Yeah, Kyle is doing
Inception.
calisthenics in the video, so check the YouTube. You're gonna like the way his arms move. Kyle, so great to have you on. Your nickname in the window is Awesome Kyle, and that remains to be determined.
You wouldn't mind referring to me as that through the episode? I'd love that.
Okay.
All right,
we'll see if you earned that. For now, I'll say, I would say neutral Kyle at the moment. But great to have you on. Kyle, we like to start with a bit of a check-in. What is happening in the world of Kyle?
What's happening? Right now, currently, I am cat sitting at a place, and that a place with this aesthetic, which very much... I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not home, but in a lot of ways, I'm home. I'm in the midst of the forest, is where I've always sort of wished I could be. It is like a
cut to Kyle's place, and it's just the same picture, but daytime. I'm saying if we cut to your place,
every 12 hours I switch it. But I do opposites. During the day, I have the nighttime one up, and during the night, I have the daytime one up because I'm fucked up like that. I think that's why I do comedy. I have a twisted perception of the world. I see everything.
Yeah, you're the only person whose art has a day-night cycle. But for the people who are just listening, Kyle is sitting in front of a sort of fairy-like forest. It's twilight. There are some little fireflies flying through the trees, and it has.
And it ain't no Zoom background, as he said when he joined the call.
No, it's real life, and I can't stress enough. It's daytime outside, but it's nighttime behind me in the forest.
Right,
it is always opposites day in Kyle's fucked up brain. Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to. I guess we're gonna have to let you know.
Yeah. Definitely too late if you can't.
Honestly, if you had said no, exit.
Wow. Just
no point in me being here. No swearing. I'm gone.
I will not be censored.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
There was a list of topics you said we had to discuss, which I'm sort of nervous about getting into.
Yeah. You just said we're gonna touch on gender. I don't know what that means.
We're going to do more than touch on it. We're going to get our hands all over it. Yeah, we're going to get into gender, folks.
Yeah. And then you had a link to a bunch of ground news articles, which I haven't been able to read because it's not set to my blind spot settings. Kyle, what's actually going on in your life aside from us harassing you?
Yeah. How do people normally answer this? Do they go today or they go grand scheme?
It's often like something interesting that happened to you recently, or some like a show or piece of media that you've been enjoying, or you could talk about the cat.
Every now and then someone will say not a whole lot, and then we have to kind of move on as well. That'll happen too.
Yeah, I kind of like that approach, but that's not me. I gotta have something. Born entertainer here. You know what the problem is I had like a pretty stressful morning, but like not in one of those fun ways. Parts of it where, you know what, it's like super cold and rainy out here. It was 31 degrees the other day, and then now it's like the worst day. And I had to, because I'm cat sitting, I had to go get groceries, and I had to walk to the store in the rain with an umbrella, and it kept blowing inside out. And then I had just a little bit more groceries than I had room for in my bag. So I kind of had to hold the bag plus a few extra things with like 2 extra fingers. And then the umbrella kept like blowing out of my hands. And then a bad song came on my headphones. But I had both my hands were full, so I just had to listen to. It's not a bad song, but it is that.
It wasn't the
Bad
vibe.
Thoughts song by DJ Khaled and Rihanna featuring.
Wild Thoughts. Yeah, holy shit! That song.
But
that song was so popular for a summer, and now no one fucking has.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone has thought about that song until you just mentioned it. Genuinely,
I know.
I don't think that Spotify has generated any revenue for anyone until today.
I don't even know if it's on there. I only have it because I host trivia, and I had it on like a playlist for like guess what song this is because of that exact thing. And like everyone forgot about this. And then it was just really strange. I was like so stressed soaking wet. My groceries are getting all wet. My arm was like cramping up, and then it was like.
Yeah, it samples Maria by Santana.
In my head, I was like, I have to get home to do a podcast. I can't do
Wild thoughts abound. Yeah, that is a way to start your day.
Do you have are you a car owner, Kyle?
No, but I was, and it's in the it sucks because I live in Toronto. You don't want to be a car owner here, but it's in moments like that you very much miss it. Yeah.
This is what I was going to say, because I'm in Chicago. I also don't have a car. You don't really need one here. But it's those moments where you have too many fucking groceries and the weather is suddenly bad, where you just feel like I am a powerless worm. Like I have no, like that feeling of like my arm hurts so much. Or like sometimes I'll get too much in one bag and the bag will start to rip and I have like 2 blocks left to get to the house. So I'm cradling it and like straining my shoulder. It's horrible.
Yeah, and you're almost just like begging for it to get worse. Like I was just like, and you know what's going to happen next? A car is going to drive through a puddle and splash me. Then I think what I was doing is I was going to be like, if that happens, I'm letting them know I'm not doing the podcast today.
You were one small inconvenience away from pulling out of the show.
Everyone. Guys, I know exactly.
I'm not going to be able to be my best self. I got splashed by a car today. It's over.
I actually know exactly what you mean, where you make that little bargain with yourself, and you're like, no, but like if one more thing happens, it's actually completely fine for me to cancel.
Yeah. It's actually in the realm of reasonability for me to cash out today and say I'm sitting on the couch and gaming. I
have. This is weirdly one of my go-to anecdotes, and it can be alienating for people. Sometimes it's very relatable. Sometimes people are like, "I'm worried for you." But one time I was late for I was late for trivia. So who cares? Doesn't matter. Inconsequential. That is my job. I do trivia for like most of my income. Yeah. But it's still, I know that it's like a silly doofus job, and I wasn't like late for it to start. I like to get there an hour early, and I was only going to get there half an hour early. Again, nothing bad is actually happening.
I empathize with this deeply. But
it almost makes you. Have you ever heard that thing where it like hurts more to lose a finger than an arm or a leg? It's like you can fully process a small inconvenience more than a big one, so you feel it all. So I was just worked up. And then like the streetcar didn't show up when I wanted it to. And then the subway was a couple minutes late, nothing terrible, but bad. And I leave the subway station. I kick through one of the little door. Like, I hate this. What a psycho. I kick through the doors. And then as soon as I do, because they didn't open quite fast enough for me. Again, I have to get to trivia early. And then I realized I was actually stupid. It made way more sense to stay at the subway and just wait a few more minutes than to get out and walk. I just was panicking. But now I can't go back in. The guy working saw me kick through the door.
Kicking the doors open and then turning around.
They do open saloon style too. And then I left the subway station and I saw the bus I needed pulling away. And it's only because I had the hesitation of turning back, not being sure that I missed that bus. So then that felt like God's out to get me and everything's going terrible. Yeah. This is the part that I sometimes lose people at. Then I go outside and I'm so mad. I don't know what to do. I want to hurt the Toronto Transit Commission, but not a person. I was like, I want to break a bus shelter. And I was like, no, homeless people use that for shelter. I can't do that. I want to whatever. And then I had so much like, woe is me. My life's the worst. And I've had such a good life. My life is the worst. I needed to feel bad for me. That this is my actual next instinct. Yeah. I looked at a mom and her son on the sidewalk and I went, I want them to look at me while I cut my own fucking head off. That was my
hell yes.
And then I sat down on the curb and I went, Kyle, you need to take a second. That's crazy. I did laugh out loud. I laughed out loud at my own instinct. I went, that's
amazing.
I want them to look at me while I cut my own head off.
I don't know. I've never had that exact instinct since, but some people have found that relatable.
No, I get that. And I think the human mind is so fucking beautiful that it can come up with a genius way to resolve minor tension like that. Maybe if I decapitate myself in front of a child, I won't feel annoyed about my day anymore.
I think it's like I wanted them to that way they would know how bad of a day I've been having.
Yeah.
I just needed someone to
Yeah, whenever I see a guy cutting his own head off, I'm like, oh, he must have had a rough one.
Now, Kyle.
I would hope that the last thing I was able to take in before I like severed the nerve to my ears and brain was someone going, oh, he's having a bad day.
Damn.
Validation.
Okay. Would not want to be him right now as you're chopping through your neck.
And they really would. Yeah, for some reason it had to be a sword. In my head, it was a full sword.
Right. And I also love, like,
yeah,
you're doing the, like, Lane Price and Mad Men. Like, I want them to have to see it. Like, I don't just want to die peacefully. I want witnesses. I
want an audience.
I'm putting myself on display for you.
1,000% relate to that. I totally do that too. This is not the same, but a kind of related story for my check-in was I had too much stuff. The bag started ripping. I was on my way home, and I can use my like AirPods to call my fiance. So I called her. And she just didn't pick up for some reason. I guess she was like napping at the time or whatever. And I was hoping she would let me in because I had all this stuff in my arms. And Siri will let you call, but it won't let you hang up. So it started to go to voicemail. And I was like, Siri, hang up. Siri, hang up. And it wouldn't do it. So I just had to leave this like 5-minute message, which is me grumbling and being like, hi, Kim. I'm not able to hang up the phone. I'm sorry. It would be really nice if you came and helped me. And then you can hear me saying, like, Siri, please end the call. Siri, please end the call. And it's all recording and saving to her phone. It was so demeaning.
Oh, man.
Ooh, by any chance, do you still have that voicemail?
I should get it. I don't know. I'll check if it was on her phone.
Yeah, I want you to please wait. Let's give a second to pause. I want to insert that right here if you have it.
Yeah, please, Kevin. We'll edit it in if we can find it.
I'll edit it in if we can find it. That's a beautiful idea. And if we can't find it right away, I'll play it at your wedding.
It can be a bonus episode when we miss one or whatever.
Yeah, when we miss one to record. Yeah, in the inevitable times we're gonna miss the next few weeks. Thomas, what's to do with you, man? Going on?
I think that was good enough for a check-in for me, though I could say more. But Kevin, what's going on with you?
I'll keep it brief, but I went viral again.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Congrats.
My burger restaurant went. I made the world's largest Fat Boy. The Fat Boy is a Winnipeg style cheeseburger hamburger. It's a cheeseburger with chili sauce on it, essentially, and a few other fixins.
It's the best.
It's fantastic. But I own a restaurant called St. James Burger and Chip Co. in Winnipeg, and we decided to create the world's largest Fat Boy. So it's this huge burger, and I created it and announced it's like a food challenge kind of thing, and it's pretty difficult and unreasonable. It's $180, but you can get it for free if you finish it in 30 minutes. But it's enormous. It'd be very, very difficult to finish it. The patty itself is 7 pounds. The chili is probably about another 1.5 pounds.
So we're looking at about is that physically possible to eat?
I think it's probably physically possible, but I think it's very hard. I think like I've seen a few like very professional food challenge-y guys online, and I feel like they could probably do it, but I don't think it's that easy for the average person. And that's partly by design. I have a small restaurant. I can't do this that often. It takes up a lot of space. It slows down service. The food itself, I don't make a lot of money on making it. It's more of like a fun thing.
Yeah.
So but I don't want everybody trying to order it all the time, because I would make no money, and I'd slow down business like crazy.
And you'd have to just tell people we can't do no more burgers today. We used all our beef for that one burger.
Well, I do have to shut down the grill for like 45 minutes to cook it and everything.
Yeah.
So kind of, yeah. Anyway, so that's popped off, and I've been spending the last week like arguing with morons in the comments because it increases the engagement, but also slowly whittling away my life force. That's really tough. And then the other thing is I just saw something for sale, and I wanted to. Normally, I like to do things as a surprise. I've referenced Thomas's bachelor party and wedding a few different times, but there's something I feel like it's a perfect present for him, and I want to just bring it up on the show here and see. So this is on the marketplace in Winnipeg.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So there's
this
here.
Belonged to Epstein. Epstein quarter zip sweatshirt in great condition. No stains, huh? Worn only a few times.
So is this saying that it was his? No, it couldn't have been his.
Well, this would be worth a lot more. This is the. I mean,
it's the same.
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, you have to admit,
this is incredible.
The embroidery on this does have the same like emblazoned. I assume this is his monogram.
J.E. Yeah, you can see a J.E. on it. So how did this Winnipegger acquire this?
He made it himself, and he's trying to pass it off. This is Jeffrey Epstein's stolen valor, and how dare you?
That's actually a great gift, Kevin. I'd love to have that. Thank you.
You want me to buy you Jeffrey Epstein sweater? Okay, I'll see if I can.
You know what? Everything else aside, he didn't dress terrible.
Yeah,
not a good guy. And I'll be the first to say, I've actually been saying it for some time.
Yeah,
but he dressed fine.
I think it's time for us to talk about some of his good qualities for once.
The entrance of balance.
Release the Epstein smiles. How about that?
There we go.
You got there. I was worried. Yeah, you got there.
Really
Me too. I was worried too. Let's spin the goddamn wheel, right, Thomas?
It's time.
Okay.
Yeah, let's spin the goddamn wheel.
We have got Open Up. Now, this is a segment we've done before. We're going to tell a personal story. So, I guess kind of simple, kind of open-ended, but we're going to get a little vulnerable with each other.
A little vulnerable.
And I actually have one from this week.
Thomas, you selected this on purpose because you want to air a grievance or something.
No. It's actually a nice story. It's actually a nice story.
We started with 3 vulnerable-ish stories.
Yeah.
Then we're doing this, and not to spoilers. My segment is very similar.
So wonderful! We're gonna get open-hearted.
Stories are going to love this episode.
Good. So good. These, what your segment's going to be, so maybe you can cater your story to contrast with whatever that's going to be. But I'll share something. It's not too personal, but it was a nice thing that happened this weekend. Former guest of the pod, Peter Corey, who was invited to the wedding in Winnipeg, couldn't make it, is going to come to the Chicago one. But he and his wife, Sarah, said, because we can't come, we'd like to take you out for dinner. And I'd never had that happen before. But I just want to, 1, shout them out. It was so sweet. And 2, say that it's a really nice, I think like it's very awkward telling people you can't come to their wedding. It's like a big expense. It's a lot of travel and stuff. And to me, it was a great way to, not that I would have been upset, but it was a really nice gesture of like, I'm sure it was expensive to take people out for dinner, but much cheaper than traveling and stuff. So it was this like great experience we all had together. It felt really special. And we went to this nice Italian place in Chicago, and it was just cool. And I don't know, they're both like such generous, friendly people that they were very kind to us through it. And we just left feeling like $1 million. But I think if you ever are invited to a wedding and you don't think you can make it, that is a lovely thing to do for someone.
Yeah.
So that they still feel that you care about them. And it's fun to go out. Yeah.
I think that shows that they like love and trust you too. Because I think if you were a little more removed from a person, you would just never reply because you'd feel awkward about how you can't make it and you feel bad or you do on the RSVP. That's a good friend move.
Yeah. It was just super nice. It was great. So shout out to them. Thank you.
There you go. And now they don't have to come here. They don't have to come to Winnipeg.
Yeah. They won't.
Which I love.
Congrats to them.
But,
I love it too, but also I recognize not the tourist destination.
No. I mean, they're seeing it at a good time of year. But yeah. Do you have something on the tip of your brain, Kyle?
No, you go first.
Okay. I mean, if we're just being sincere and honest, and upfront, I haven't talked about this on the podcast before. Thomas is somewhat familiar with this. I sometimes make jokes or reference the differences between my partner Kara and I a lot on the show, but something I think that is another way in which we're fundamentally different, but I think is such a great thing about her is that she has like a much bigger heart than I do, and a much more open heart. And so Kara has this friend of hers named James, and James has some undiagnosed mental disabilities, and he also struggles with some walking and mobility issues later in his life. He's in his 50s. Kara, he just worked in the same building as Kara for a while when they were a little bit younger. Kara's my age. Well, she's younger than me. She's only 30, but James is a little older. He was working in the dish pit at the restaurant at the place that she was working at, and he definitely was like didn't need to continue his, like they kind of screwed him over. They stopped scheduling him because James he's falling down at work. He's a bit more of a liability than he is a great efficient staff member to have, and the company that he worked for was just sort of exploiting his existence in that manner. So they would only keep him on the schedule once in a while because they didn't want to sever his pay to give him a severance that he was due. And so James has been kind of fallen through the cracks in the systems of Winnipeg. He doesn't have any kind of care workers, doesn't have any kind of aid, and he really needs them. And Kara kind of became his medical contact over the last few years, and then like realized kind of slowly over time, getting to know him more and more, realized the real lack of support that he has, that he needs. And Kara has some experience doing some support work, but of course she's not sitting around with all this capacity, and it really is a significant amount of work to take care of somebody in this condition. So James fell down not too long ago, got a cut on his leg, got it very badly infected, and ended up in the hospital a couple months ago. And Kara has been tending to him at the hospital and making arrangements, and now she's getting him a new place. They're getting him like meals taken care of. They're getting him regular support work going to be at that place, and it is in no small part due to Kara's like consistent advocacy and showing up for him and helping him make sure that he understands what's going on. Because navigating the medical system is quite complicated and difficult, even for people who are able to communicate clearly and have themselves be comprehended. And James doesn't have those luxuries. So Kara, I'm just really proud of my partner and really think that it's great that she's doing such amazing work to help make this guy's life a lot better and improve the quality of it, just so that it gets to like a reasonable condition. And it's very draining, and it's very hard on people to do these kind of things. And so I admire her open-heartedness, and I think that that's just something I'm if we're giving out nice shout outs and celebrating something, it's something that makes me love my girlfriend a lot more than I already do. Yeah,
that's awesome. No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It shouldn't be on her. There should be systems in place that take care of it. It really sucks that it's on her or other people. But can you just imagine how, like, I mean, I don't know exactly where he's at, like, cognitively, but like the loneliness of that, to just feel like he might have on some level totally accepted this is just what happens to him. His life doesn't go good. Yeah. He doesn't. People aren't there for him.
Yeah, and it's so sad. James is one of many cases that it's true. It's the people that get left alone in these things. It's really just unfortunate. So yeah, I'm glad that she's there to be able to buoy his struggles a little bit. Yeah,
that's
very
awesome.
Inspiring.
Yeah, she's a strong woman.
Good woman. Congratulations on her and on your big cheeseburger.
Thank you.
Yeah. We can't emphasize enough the beginning of the story was Kevin saying, this is not the kind of guy I am. Only Kara would do this stuff.
There is genuinely, like, you do get confronted with like you're like, the world needs you a little more than it needs me, I think, when I see that. And I'm not saying I want to cut my head off in front of a mother and child in front of a bus. But what I mean is that, like, you are net benefiting, like this, like it's just equivocal that she's improving this person's life in a very great way. And I
and we all have instincts to do that. We all see people that could really use some help, and we think about it, and you either start the process and realize what an undertaking it is and kind of drop it, or before you even start, you realize what an undertaking it will be and you don't go ahead with it. But and you just, I mean, way to acknowledge that you don't have what it takes. I a lot of the time don't either. It's hard. I'm so glad there's people like that, because we don't all have the capacity to do that.
Yeah, we're making a podcast right now.
The noblest thing a person can do.
Yeah, exactly. Some people take their time and like genuinely help people out, and then some people put joy out into the world. And actually, those are equal.
You're
those
welcome.
are exactly the same.
Skip it about that.
What do you got, Kyle?
Thank you. Okay, so mine's not as powerful. I mean, my grandma is very similar to your partner. My grandma is really like that type of person, even like into her late 80s and 90s. When she sees a homeless person, sometimes she will like, she knows the sort of limits, but she will like take their clothes and bring them to her place and wash them and bring them back to them. And she will or she will like take them for coffee and just sit with them for a couple of hours, or she'll, because she's an older person and the world is the worst. She's kind of can be susceptible to like shitty propaganda. And I remember one time she said something kind of Islamophobic, and kind of, sort of all of her like grandkids were like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then she heard us out. And then there was a Muslim woman in her apartment building, and she baked something and went over and knocked on her door and was just like, can you just teach me about this? Can you just like me, because I realized I was misinformed. And then the next time we saw her, she was like, I had such a good conversation with a nice Muslim.
She's like,
and I understand.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, she's hitting you with the inshallah. That's amazing. That's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing and I don't know. Maybe I will. But I think she's been like that her whole life. Part of me's like, when I'm 90, I'll be like that. But it's like, no, if you're like that, you're like that. Or I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
It's just like being old and flexible and like open to learning about things, and like is rare. I mean, it's rare at any age, I think, but it's just a very refreshing thing to hear anyone be like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Let me like see if I can be a better person. Like that's almost better than the like kind of, well, I already know everything. I'm like already progressive and virtuous. There's nothing left for me to learn.
I would argue it definitely is better than that. I think being set in your ways.
It definitely is. Yeah, I think there's no gray area there. It is. Yeah, and I think too, it's pretty. I'm pretty sure there's science to support it. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there is that. Like you do stop progressing when you decide that you know everything, and your brain wants that. Like your mind wants to just settle and be like, we got it. Yeah. This is the world. We've decided on it. I don't want to learn anymore. I've learned everything. And you have to consciously fight that. And that's the reason that she's in her 90s and is still like sharp and can still have like an intellectual conversation, is she's like, she really makes a point of, one of my favorite ways to describe why she's so cool is she late in life. Well, no, I can't get too personal with it, but she watched Breaking Bad and it like changed her life. She realized she related to Skylar a lot, and that made her realize how she kind of felt about some elements of her life. And she died. She said it just really got her thinking, and she goes, she's a real Christian woman. She goes, I didn't like the language. I don't like the violence. But she's like, all of my friends won't watch it because of that. And she's like, I don't like that either. But it's an experience I would have never had otherwise. You have to watch things that challenge you. That's how you learn and that's how you grow. Wow. And because she watched that, she said she was just in church one day and she looked around and she realized there was just a sea of white and gray heads. So she dyed her hair purple because she's like, I don't want to just be one gray head in like the sea of gray heads. Again, in her.
Shout out to Grandma.
Check her basement. I'm a little nervous for what she might be cooking up down there.
Check her what?
Check her basement. I'm just curious what kind of lab she might have set up down there.
Might be chefing up some blue. Yeah.
No, I don't care. That's what she's up to.
She bought a 10-pack of Tidy Whities and she's visiting the desert.
Listen, in your last couple decades, you can do that.
Yeah. Why not?
A huge part of what makes Breaking Bad acceptable is that Walter White is in his 50s. I feel like if he was 25 and
imagine Breaking Bad, but with two Jessies. Just neither of them knows how to do science. They're just both addicted to that.
There's thousands of people that say they don't like Breaking Bad because they watched it and that's what they wanted. They wanted two. They thought Jesse was supposed to be cool, and then
science,
they wanted
bitch. Two. Yeah, bitch, science, bitch. That's all they do. Just two guys sitting in a trailer.
Okay.
I actually think chili tea is better than the blue stuff. I wish he just kept doing chili tea.
Yeah, that's lovely. What a lovely little.
That was great. Sounds like so we have
segment.
3 shout outs to people who are better than us. And now it is time for Kyle's segment, which may be more of this. Kyle, what is your segment?
Okay, this segment, I haven't totally decided on a name. This segment is called "Don't You Dare Lie," and you would think that means it's a segment where you don't lie, but actually you're probably gonna lie.
Okay,
it is
interesting.
So it's like a sort of more improv version of the British panel show "Would I Lie to You?" You guys familiar?
Oh,
I don't think so.
I think they just play 2 truths and a lie, kind of, right? I don't really...
Sort of. So the premise of that show, it's awesome, but we couldn't do it here without like a writing staff. What they do is it's 2 teams of 3, and everybody there will just flip up a card, and beforehand you've told the producers a couple anecdotes you have. You go, one time I did this, one time I did this, one time I did this. And when you flip up the card, you might get one of your anecdotes, or you might get a lie that they wrote for you. And they just give you the log line of the lie. Like, one time I stole 5 packs of cereal at the grocery store by accident. And then you have to just, and if it's a real story, you tell her either way, and you have to act like it's true no matter what.
Gotcha.
So I was talking to my girlfriend, and she gave me a good way to make this work as like an improv thing. I think one of us gives the other person, we can just like kind of go in a circle or whatever, just a 1 or 2 word prompt, like water park issue, and you have to start talking immediately, and you have to convince us it's a true story, and it might be true and it might be a lie, and I guess you get a point if you trick for each person you trick. I don't know.
Sure.
It's unlikely. Well, we'll see how short these are, but I imagine we'll only do 1, maybe 2 cycles of this.
Depends on how the stories are, yeah.
But I wanna put something out, because I feel like sometimes this pisses me off.
What?
It really grinds me up when people do this, where they tell a true story and they change a couple details, and then they say, "Oh, it was a lie." No, fuck that. It's got to be largely untrue for it to be a real lie.
Okay, I see what you mean.
I saw somebody do this one time where the whole story was true. It was a story about like getting a wild bird to land on their arm, but they just changed the kind of bird it was from like a robin to a raven. That is not how it goes. It needs to be either basically all the way fake or basically all the way true. I thank you for saying that.
Okay. That's a good caveat, because I like to play in the middle. So I would have been one of those fuckers that you guys hate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry for I didn't do it yet, so everyone calm down.
Well,
let's
it pisses me off.
Even the fact that you wanted to.
Well, I didn't know, and I also didn't want to exactly. I just said I might. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, why don't you ask your wife what she thinks of that kind of behavior? I feel like she'd be more of a moral compass. She would understand what's wrong with that.
She'll hate me.
Yeah,
she'll leave
they're
me.
not married.
That's
okay.
How dare you? No, you're fine.
How
dare you imply that?
That I'm more committed to my wonderful partner than I am.
Yeah. She only lives with me. We only own a business together. You kidding me? You already get married now?
Sorry, I'll say common law wife next time.
Thank you. And don't tell the tax department, because we don't claim her on my taxes.
Oh, fine. Should I start? How do we do this?
Yeah. You kick us off here.
Yeah. Are you giving me one? Or are you giving Thomas one? Or is one of us giving Kyle one to start?
I'll give Thomas one.
Okay.
Okay. Just a couple of words. There's not really a limit, I guess. And you'd think I would have planned this ahead of time. I don't have something ready. Thanksgiving disaster.
Okay. Well, over the last 2 years, I have hosted Thanksgiving. And I didn't do this when I was younger. But I started hosting Thanksgiving more recently because I was like, what am I afraid of? Like, I basically had this feeling of like, I just imagine myself as someone who doesn't have the capacity to like make a turkey and host a dinner. It's like, I felt like I was in this perpetual adolescence. And so over the past 2 years, I've just been like, fuck it, I'm gonna host Thanksgiving. However, the first time that I did, I was like looking up all these YouTube videos and recipes of like, how do you make a turkey? And I had a whole plan ready, but then I got to the store and I found that there were, they have these like bags that you can steam the turkey in the oven. And none of my recipes mentioned a bag. So I got the bag because it was like, this is faster, it makes it juicier. And so I used the bag thinking that this would be okay. But I started like at the time that I would have started without the bag. And so we had all our friends over and we were coordinating. And my big thing again is like, I need to get this turkey done. And this plastic bag like ruptured at some point in the oven. So instead of holding the juices in, there was like the oven, which we also needed to use for everyone else's sides. People were bringing things, they were going to reheat them. It just like started to leak all over the oven.
Wait,
and I didn't,
was the turkey not in a pan, in a bag?
It was in a pan, but there was like an air bubble of some kind. Like it somehow, I think you have to vent the bag. And so instead of it releasing the steam, it like ruptured and just created this horrible, disgusting mess in the oven, which I noticed like an hour after it happened. So to be clear, the turkey turned out great. Everyone liked the turkey, but it was the most like disgusting oven, like
dirty oven is rough.
Yeah, I hate cleaning the stove in the oven anyway. It feels like you can't actually get it clean. So and I have this thing where if I fuck something up in the kitchen, I want to cut my head off like Kyle. Like I get so angry at myself if I fuck something up. So I was just in a bad mood throughout the entire dinner. Even though everything technically was fine, but I was like, I'm a fucking idiot.
The kitchen mistake is a visceral feeling. It is.
Yeah.
It is somehow deeply cutting. Yeah.
And it's tough because there's knives all around. All dinner you kept reaching for the turkey carving knife.
Yeah. I was like, who wants to
Rian Johnson movie?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Who wants to carve the chef? And then I put a fork in my neck and chopped my head off. But it was that
was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean that was 2 years ago. That's pretty much how it went. But I think it was like that feeling that I was afraid of like I'm not a real adult, like I'm actually a child who can't do anything, was activated by this disaster. So
it's the exact reason you were so scared to do this for so long that you were going to blow it, and you blew it in a way you couldn't have imagined.
Yeah.
With a new bag technology you didn't know existed. This is a plastic bag, by the way. I think we're allowed to cross-examine here. We're allowed to.
Yeah. It's like a plastic bag that you can get and put in the roasting pan.
Like a sous vide. So you're not supposed to boil it. I would imagine you're supposed to boil that so that the
No, it's not like sealed like a sous vide. It's more like to contain all of the moisture and stuff.
Does the bag have strings? No, probably not.
I think it probably clipped with like a little metal on the end or something like that.
Yeah. I did you have to do anything else to the turkey, or was like the bag all the whole?
Well, you stuff it. You massage it with butter and spices and stuff. But then instead of it just sitting there in the oven, the bag is supposed to like now all the aromas are like soaking into the meat and stuff.
I see.
So you have to put the turkey
in the bag, like yourself.
Yeah, the turkey is fully in the bag. Yes.
I thought you bought it in a bag, but that's not what you're saying. You're saying
I bought a frozen turkey and a bag.
I see.
And the bag,
turkey, seasoned stuff, put in bag. And then I guess you're supposed to put it in the oven at a temperature that doesn't melt plastic, but does cook a turkey.
I think the bag is melt proof, but it accelerates the cooking time. So you're not supposed to put it in for as long. And you were supposed to have a vent for the inevitable steam that
What was the best side dish?
Don't know the answer to this. Don't say you don't know. You have to have the answer to this. What makes it melt proof? What specific thing do they do that makes it melt proof?
So you can't catch me on the lie if I make up something about plastic that I don't know.
But suspicious.
I do think that there might just be like a kind of high temperature that plastic can be in the oven at. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting. What was the best side dish and who brought it?
Oh man. Okay. I'm trying to remember.
This is 2 years ago.
Last year it was Kenya who brought mac and cheese. It was so good. 2 years ago, I want to shout out my friend Andrew, who's been on the podcast. He did a really good sweet potato mash. And I think actually Kim's mom made a really good pumpkin pie, which is, I guess, not a side, but I love that pumpkin pie.
Counts. Contribution. That's good. I think the story is real. I think that Thomas is telling the truth.
I think I kind of do too. My hang-up would be on all of my hang-ups are on the technicalities of this plastic.
I don't think
bag.
the bag is plastic. I don't think it's plastic. I think Thomas just doesn't know what it is, but it's not plastic.
You know him well enough to know that he's not sure what plastic is.
Well, I think he might just be like misremembering. I think it might be like some sort of like wax bag or something. I don't know.
Like, the parchment paper kind of aluminum foil maybe type of. I think it's true too, because sometimes it's got so many specifics. I think you would be a better liar than this, and you wouldn't make it such a strange story if you were lying. Unless you knew that I would think that. Fuck. No, I'm going to agree. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a lie. I made a delicious turkey and everyone loved it. And I did sort of, because you have to start talking immediately. So there are some true details in that story of like, I did host Thanksgiving, like that much is true. I did actually use the bag. But the central lie that it was a disaster and that it burst and that there was juice everywhere and that the oven was ruined, all of that is false.
I'll allow that.
That feels like the thing you just told me we couldn't.
It was on the edge.
It is, but like it's very hard to come up with a brand new story with no details based in real life that like instantly. Yeah. So yeah, I fucked up. Right. I admit it. But I didn't fuck up the turkey. And it was plastic. It actually is like a weird plastic bag.
I did look it up. It is plastic. It's a polythene. It is plastic.
Okay. All right.
It's just,
so
the ability to be roasted.
I should have made more up about the Thanksgiving and stuff, but I was like, it's weird to do a story where you come up with a bunch of like that was the central part was the bag lie. So I admit that.
Were you maybe planning on telling a true story, or you knew you didn't? You knew you're too good of a cook to have a Thanksgiving disaster.
As soon as you said Thanksgiving, I was like, well, I'm going to start talking about hosting Thanksgiving, which is true.
Sure.
That's the thing. A bunch of the stuff was true. You under the stipulation of the game, you fully duped me.
The game sort of does drive you towards the exact thing we said you're not allowed to do.
Yeah, but you kind of have to.
Especially when you
I think I would say, despite this, the central event of the story was a lie. So in that way, I don't think I wasn't just fudging like, oh, Kenya actually brought green beans. Like it wasn't like, it was the climax of the story was the lie, and I think that is
it's close to the line, but we'll say it's on the right side of the line. As the creator of the segment, I'll allow it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
You're trying to go from neutral Kyle to awesome Kyle. I see what's happening.
You've just earned your spot as pretty good Kyle. Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin, your words are dinosaur bone.
Nice.
There's a museum out in Morden, Manitoba, which is like an hour and a half out of Winnipeg. I don't know. I could be wrong about the time it takes to get there. And in the museum, I believe it's the only museum in Manitoba that had like the museum is attached to like where they actually found dinosaur fossils. There's like proper fossils from dinosaurs there. So I've only been there once to this museum. Kara and I took a weekend together out to Morden. I want to say maybe a year or two into our relationship. And Morden is a really quaint small town. They have a bed and breakfast. A fair amount of people I know are from this small town. Friend of the show, Natasha Duran, is from this small town. And we Kara and I had a nice weekend. I did mushrooms, I think, for the first time out in Morden properly, which was an interesting time. One of 2 times I think I've done mushrooms in my life.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and that's not the story. That's just something else that happened.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Morden. Morden. So the dinosaur bones. We went to the dinosaur museum. I don't remember the name of the museum, but there's a one of those underwater dinosaurs that has like the flippery things, and they call him Bruce. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there's some sort of paleontological reason why his name is Bruce.
The shark from Jaws is named Bruce as well. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Interesting. Like the mechanical because they don't give his name Jaws in the movie Jaws. But no. So Bruce is there, and Kara and I are going through it, and it's a fun experience. I feel like we're sharing this for the first time together until like halfway through, when Kara tells me that she's actually had a few sleepovers at the museum. Because Kara is a Girl Guide leader, and so she is in charge of troops of children, and so we had a nice time at the museum walking around, but it didn't feel as novel to me because I felt like we were kind of in my mind breaking new ground. Or old ground, if you will. But she had already been there with children, with child, some would say.
No.
I wouldn't.
And so it put sort of a sour taste in my mouth for the trip, but it was overall a nice time. And there's one of the photos that's on my wall in my bedroom is of her and I taking a photo outside the museum. So,
Cute. Imagine you broke up with this wonderful person because of that, because she made you feel bad.
You had a fucking sleepover here by the Brontosaurus?
By Bruce?
Yeah.
You seen Bruce? You met Bruce?
You didn't think to tell me till halfway through the museum.
Wow.
I'm walking around like a fucking idiot thinking that we're experiencing this for the first time.
She's not
together.
reading any of the plaques. I'm reading all
What
the
else
plaques,
have you been hiding from me?
No, I can't do this anymore. No, that is not going to work for me.
That's why I mean, I'm going to say it's a lie because I just don't think it would really bother Kevin that she'd been there before. It seems odd that maybe it hadn't come up, but I just feel like Kevin is a guy who would be fine with that. I don't really see it that likely that you'd be like, what the heck?
I mean, I said it just put a small sour taste in my mouth.
But that was the end of your story. Like, that was the incident, so I just don't buy it. I don't know.
The trip. Yeah.
I'm split because I obviously can't use the same approach. He knows you very well. I have to just go on just what I know about truth and lies. You definitely felt to be... I'm going to say you spent the entirety of the story, from what I could tell, deciding if you were going to tell the truth or a lie. I feel like until the last second you weren't sure where the departure was going to be. It felt like you were buying time almost the whole time.
That's really astute there, Kyle.
Thomas may know me well, Kyle. Thomas may have been my friend for over a decade, and yet somehow you have seen me. I feel seen. I feel very seen.
I just know panic when I see it. The slow panic of a confident improviser is still panic.
It's slow, but it's there. Yeah.
You have enough experience to know to panic in a calm, seeming way. Panicking if I'm talking slow and thoughtfully.
This is deeply. I feel
this is really
exposed.
good.
Yeah, I feel like significantly exposed. That's my whole toolkit you're laying bare. Slow panic
just to
is
make
sort
it
of my whole
interesting,
deal.
because you said lie, I'll say true, just so one of us gets it right.
Yeah, I mean, nothing about that story is untrue, except that maybe I emphasized my displeasure more than was accurate. I mean, you're right that it wasn't that big of a deal, but
so
was
were you intending to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like the mistruth here. The mistruth here was that was a story at all.
And that's fair. I deeply wanted to tell you guys about how I took the mushrooms and watched Pan's Labyrinth, which is a terrible movie to watch when you're high on mushrooms.
Ooh, yeah,
that was the second time I took mushrooms, I think, because the first time I think I watched Soul, and it was like a few months after my dad had died. Huge mistake.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought that could have been a great experience. No, maybe not.
I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. I had a great time, but it was also I cried for like 5 hours because, like, you get
the benefit of imagining your dad come back as Tina Fey, and sort of that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you went and sat at a piano to try to, and then you're like, well, I can't play piano, but oh god.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this thing, but no.
Honestly, no fault. I don't know if I could have anything for Dinosaur Bone. You got a tough prompt.
Dinosaur Bone was tough, and so the first thing that came into my mind was I was at this dinosaur museum a few years ago, and then I just kind of spun off of there, and then I was like, do I have a place? I guess I could have started talking about a really terrible trip or something, and then that could have been like,
sure,
because all those pieces are true, like the mushrooms and everything, and I could have made it.
It started feeling true because I'm from Morris, Manitoba, and that gets confused with Morden a lot, and it's also about like 45 minutes away. It's close.
Yeah. Okay. So Kyle, for your anecdote, I think.
Wait, what if we do it? What if we do it where each one of you says one word?
Okay, great.
Is that stupid?
No,
never mind.
I've got my word.
No. Okay.
I've got my word. Mine's a noun. Is yours a noun, Thomas?
No.
Okay, you do yours first.
Okay. Mine is sticky.
And mine is party.
Sticky party. Okay, so I'm not like a pranks person. Pranks make me feel kind of gross. When I was, it's almost like I'm making amends. When I was a teenager, I had next to no empathy. I truly was just about, I'm a legend and I don't care if what I do, I want to do the funniest thing right now. So I don't care if it like wrecks someone else's day or hurts their feelings or whatever. And then as I've gotten older, I have trouble even watching Nathan For You. Like, I think it's awesome. But like, I'm like, oh, we're being mean to some of these people. Even like just for laughs gags sometimes anyway, but I like a really stupid prank that doesn't hurt anybody. It just makes you question. I think a good prank doesn't hurt you, but it just makes you question like the fabric of reality for a second and just go like, what? I think it's good to sometimes be like, what is the world? What are social norms? What are we doing? So sure. My little brother had a housewarming party, and I did have to basically beg him to do this. He did not see why it's funny, and actually very few people do see why it's funny. But I was like, we have to do this thing. He had a bunch of like newer friends, and none of them knew me. And I was like, okay, so you have a chance here to show them like what your home life is. You have a chance here to like make up kind of like a ritual that you have. One of these that I did is I pretended when I met my brothers refused. I pretended when I met my cousin's boyfriend for the first time, we were going to go swimming, and I linked arms with my brothers to go to the bathroom to change together, to like a solo stall. But they wouldn't go, and he was like, no, we have to convince him that we think that's cool. And I was like, you didn't do that for me, you have to do this for me. And I said, well, it's so dumb. So you know those plates that have like multiple compartments, like one for chips and one for veggies? Yeah. Those like disposable plates. We got a bunch of those, and and we put down like plastic on the floor, which would make you think that it's like a foam party or something. And then what we did was, and no one's gonna buy this. I guess I get why they didn't want to do it, but it was very nice of them to let me. So you put like chips in one and veggies in the other and whatever, but then in the one container left, you put iced tea, and then you just eat whatever's in the plate, and when you get thirsty, you go to sip, and you just spill everything to sip. You spill it on the floor, and then go refill, and don't acknowledge that what you just did was weird. At the time, I thought it was brilliant, and in hindsight, it's like, who's going to buy that? Who is going to buy that? That's the thing. And then, so just at the start of the party, we did that, and then what happened was no one would do it but me. So I didn't convince them that it was our family's thing. I had to just convince everyone at the party who they all knew my little brother didn't know me. And I was just some guy at the party who kept spilling his whole plate on himself.
What's wrong with your brother? Why is he okay? Why does he keep doing that with the plate? I have to be
Probably
convinced.
just thought I was like on drugs or having like a mental health crisis, and then after like 2 hours, I was like, it's like so embarrassed. I was like, it was like a prank idea. I was gonna make you think I drink from a plate.
I mean, but you did, and you do because I saw it.
Think you drink from a plate, a classic prank.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh. I love it, Kyle, but I can't believe this story is true. This is insane. This is a deeply insane thing to do. I want it to be true. But the idea that a group of people at a party would willingly pour food onto themselves in the floor.
Well, they didn't. I was the only one who did it.
Right, but even that they would let you put plastic down to even attempt this.
That's the part. That's what I was going to say.
Maybe you've incurred a lot of good favor with your brothers. I simply don't think that's possible.
The plastic was so they didn't want to do it. And I went, what if we put plastic down? And they said, that's not worth it. And I said, I'll get plastic. And I showed up with plastic and a pack of those plates. And I taped it up against the walls. I went, because they just moved in. It was a housewarming party. They're like, we can't start this. And I was like, well, listen, now if anybody just happens to spell anything else, it's actually great. It'll come in handy no matter what. And it works for my perfect, brilliant prank.
Now, Kyle, I don't think you're the only one who can detect a bit of panic. And I think you started giggling a bit too much before you mentioned the iced tea. You were cracking yourself up to a degree that felt like stalling for time. And I got to agree with Kevin. The plastic detail really throws the whole thing off because it doesn't really work as a prank if there's plastic everywhere already. Like, it's clearly something you prepared for.
I think the plastic is the meta interpretation that this is just how they live, right? The plastic
it's the pre-tell because it's also a prank that work unless you feel like a fool after and you go, oh, I should have known it was all laid out. So that was, but it's also backstory. All right. Here's the thing. It's not true, but you're incorrect about the panic about the iced tea because this is something I've wanted to do for years and have never had the guts to do.
This is a bad idea, dude. I have to be honest.
I like my own idea so much.
I kind of, although
that was joy at my own mind.
It's real joy. Because that was actually, despite how I thought it was a lie, when you mentioned the iced tea in the plate, it was so specific that I was like, this has to have been cooking in the chamber.
You didn't
There's
care
no way
about
you
the
just came up with that.
You didn't care about the carrots or you didn't care about the other plate items, but the iced tea was specifically iced tea.
Because I was like, what is this prank going to be? And you mentioned iced tea, and I was like, no, there is something to this. Like,
I was also, you sort of won me over. This up. In quite a while, I was realizing in real time, like, it's not as good of an idea as I remembered. Like, that part of what I was laughing to, I was like, this kind of sucks.
This is a good idea you have at, like, 15. It doesn't feel like a good idea now. What if we all drank out of the... what the fuck is the matter?
Also, I will say, I really did try to convince my brother to do this out of housewarming, and he said no. We didn't go through with it.
I believe that. that much I believe.
And in hindsight, he's correct to say no. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's hilarious. I hope that you get to do it one day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it one day. But now with like the ironic knowledge that it's kind of a shit prank, but that's what's fun about it.
Yeah. Well, there's layers now. Yeah.
We have to put this in the segment wheel and have Kevin and I drink from a plate on the podcast.
But it's every other compartment has to be full of food.
Drink from a compartmentalized plate with mashed potatoes, carrots.
A Thanksgiving plate,
Yeah, a Thanksgiving plate that Thomas prepares from a bag.
This has been Oops All Segments. Kyle.
Yeah.
It is time for your plugs. What would you like to point our listeners to?
Okay, I just released a comedy album. It came out a couple days ago. It's fully out now. It was called You Gotta Get Used to the Boy, which is a reference to a joke on the album about the concept of that I'm a lot and I can be very annoying. And if I'm not your cup of tea, you got to just spend some time with me. You'll come around. Most people who like me at first, then get sick of me, then have a memory of me being the worst, and then they meet me again and go, no, he's not that bad.
I see.
That's sort of, I think
I'm in the first. I'm in the third phase, I think, right now, currently. But if you come back on, I might.
Becoming awesome, Kyle, is a journey for everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's out now. It's on every platform. It's on Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, all the stuff. I'm very, very proud of it. I've been doing stand-up for like 10 years. I worked really, really hard on like the set list, on getting the jokes to a point where I knew them really well, but I wasn't sick of them, so I could like play a lot. I tried to riff as much as I could, and then it took me a year to edit it, partially because I hate myself and I couldn't stand listening to my own voice, but also just to like, I didn't want it to do that thing. How much have you guys listened to a lot of like stand-up comedy albums or?
Yeah.
Fair bit.
I feel like a lot of the time when you listen to one of those, even a comedian you love, you're like, I don't feel like this is what it's actually like to see you live. It's like hard to capture that. And it took way longer than it needed to edit it because I was really, really adamant on it. And I think we kind of nailed it. I'm really proud. I think it landed in that zone of like, it kind of feels like you were there. We left a lot of like the ambient noise and the breaths and the laughs and the ums and ahs in, but not so many that it's tedious, and left enough riffs in that it again feels very like organic. I have a comedy style that's I try to make it sound like I'm coming up with it on the spot, but also I want it to feel like a fully fleshed out big idea. Anyway, I think it came out exactly how I wanted. I'm very, very proud of it.
That's awesome.
And if you didn't think I sucked ass on this, listen to that. Maybe you'll like it.
Yeah. No, you've been
I'm
great guest.
I'm still undecided, but let the listeners tell you if they liked it. Truly, I can feel how fun it would be to listen to you make something up that you actually thought of a long time ago. So I think that is going to be a really good comedy album. I can't wait to hear it. Kevin, we got news. I'm going to be in town for the Fringe Festival, participating in some of that improv in Winnipeg, which Kevin will tell you all about.
That's right. You can check out Thomas's freshly flown in fecal matter packed body at Love is Blank. Club Soda Improv is presenting 2 shows at the Winnipeg Fringe Theater Festival. Thomas, for sure, and Kim, I believe, will be in Love is Blank at the Gargoyle Theater. Times have been released for that for us, but the schedule for the Fringe has not yet been released, so we don't know all the details about who, what, where, when, and why. But you can check that out. Club Soda Improv is where you want to follow us on social media, all those platforms. You will be able to figure out when you can catch us in the month of July, because we'll be doing Love is Blank, which is an improvised Love is Blind episode. We'll be doing a number of those throughout the Fringe Festival. There also will be a chance to probably catch a bunch of us in the Big Improv show, as well as a few other shows. And then Club Soda Improv is also doing The Truth is Out There, an improvised X-Files episode down at Venue 7 for the Winnipeg Fringe Theater Festival. So definitely check out both of those shows in July. I don't have anything else to plug except for our other podcast. You can check out Thomas and I's other D&D show where Thomas was around for a while and now he's dead. He's not actually. He's not dead. I shouldn't say that because there's possible for your character to be. Yeah. Anyhow,
my character didn't say I'm gonna go die now when I left the show. I don't think.
I'm the DM, baby.
That's true. You could kill him off instantly, but anyway, we'll see.
I'm gonna give him a disgusting death.
Okay, great.
No. But check out what we do in the basement. It features lots of funny moments, and it's a Let's Play D&D podcast running for 80+ episodes. So go check that out. T, are you plugging shows?
Yeah, we just had a Motorcycle Rocketship show. It went great. Follow that social media. Brand new sketches in June on June 18th. I cannot wait for you to see that. And also every week on Saturday, you can see me in Trigger Happy at the Annoyance Improv. Very fun.
Yeah. Thank you very much to Kyle for coming around and doing the show. Thomas, as a last question, what are we thinking? Where does he stand? Have you achieved awesome Kyle recognition status?
I would say he has gone from Kyle Bergstresser to Kyle Berg resilience promoting factor. So in terms of a therapy case note, I'm a therapist. I would put no longer a stressor, now a resilience promoting factor. Thank you, Kyle.
Holy shit.